Hey there, welcome back. It's Julia, and today we're gonna dive into a topic that's close to my heart, self-care for therapists. But I promise you, it's not gonna be the typical self-care video. Have you ever found yourself overwhelmed, exhausted, and on the brink of burnout? Trust me, I've been there. As someone who has worked in multiple mental health agencies, I understand the pressures and challenges that come with those environments. But I also know that prioritizing your mental health and practicing self-compassion is a necessity for your well-being and for our clients. Stick around for some practical tips that will help you with your self-care routine and obtain more balance in your life and your private practice. First up, let's start with acknowledging the elephant in the room, burnout. It's a real and pervasive issue in the mental health field, and many of us have experienced it firsthand. For me, it was the gradual realization fueled by exhaustion, frustration, and a constant sense of overwhelm. Working in various mental health clinics, I poured my heart and soul into my work, but it never felt like enough. Despite my loving team and the clients I served, the lack of support and the pressure to do more with less took its toll. The breaking point came when I was offered a promotion that accounted to more work without pay increase or support. Feeling undervalued and unsupported, I knew something had to change. That day, as I drove home in tears, I made the decision to prioritize my well-being and leave the toxic cycle of burnout behind. This was the day I committed to making my private practice a full-time career. Now, let's talk about self-care. It's a term we often hear thrown around, but what does it really mean for us as therapists? In my experience, self-care wasn't just about bubble baths and spa days, although I love those. It was about reclaiming my time, setting those boundaries, and prioritizing my needs. As I transitioned to private practice, I had to unlearn the toxic culture of overwork that was a non-negotiable at those agencies. I learned that self-care isn't selfish. It's essential for our mental health, our well-being, and our physical well-being. By taking the time for ourselves, we can recharge our batteries, prevent burnout, and show up as our best selves for our clients. I started to understand things in my life that provided nourishment rather than drained me. So, how can we prioritize self-care in our everyday lives? It starts with small, intentional actions that prioritize our well-being. For me, it meant carving out time for my activities that nourished my soul. Whether it was going on a walk, calling a friend, going on weekend getaways, or simply saying no to extra commitments. It also meant setting those firm boundaries with clients and colleagues, advocating for my needs, and seeking support when I needed it. Remember, self-care looks different for everyone, so it's essential to find what works best for you, and I want you to try to prioritize it without guilt or shame. Finally, let's talk about a work-life balance. As therapists, it's easy to blur the lines between work and personal life, especially when our passion for helping others drives us to go above and beyond. But maintaining a healthy balance is crucial for burnout and sustaining our well-being for the long term. For me, establishing clear boundaries between work and home, scheduling downtime, and learning to disconnect from work-related stressors. By prioritizing self-care and setting boundaries, we can create a more sustainable and fulfilling career in our therapy practice, which is why we went to private practice, right? And there you have it, tips for finding balance as a therapist. Remember, you're not alone in this journey, and prioritizing self-care is not just a luxury, it's a necessity. If you found this video helpful, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more insights and strategies on being a successful therapist in private practice. I can't wait to see you on the next video. Take care.